What's up, everybody? Tim Conley here, and we are going to answer another audience member question, and this one's a really good one. It covers some geopolitical issues. It covers opportunity, how much opportunity that really exists in the world, and it's going to smash some limiting beliefs. And it's important for anyone establishing a career, whether that career is working for a company or starting your own agency, your own business, your own consultancy. It's going to change what's going on up here. Sound cool? Then let's check it. All right, this question comes from Kesandu Dennis. We're going to pull that up on the screen and I'm going to read it to you. Hi, Tim. Love the content as always. Also new to digital marketing. However, I have 3 problems that are holding me back right now. The major one is self-confidence because I'm a Nigerian looking to work with companies in the US and Europe. 2, picking a niche or industry has been so difficult. Don't know why. 3, I don't really have an online presence for proof of work done. I watched a video you made about the construction industry and would like to work with the building materials, building supplies companies. I would really appreciate any advice you can give me and ways of going about this niche too. Thank you. Currently learning how to do sales and to close deals. Learning how to do sales and closing deals, incredibly important. If you're going out on your own, you've got to be able to sell, but we're not going to cover selling in this one. We're going to cover what I call augmented reality. We're going to establish significant credibility for Kesandu and how he can do business around the world and not be locked into the Nigerian economy. I haven't studied the Nigerian economy, but from what I've heard, it's not great. The average income's probably not that high. What we want to do is help people in developing nations utilize the internet to its fullest capacity to access markets around the world so you're not locked into your local market, no matter where that local market is. And the way to do this is to augment your reality. It's to prove to the world by the things that you put around you that you know what you're talking about, that you are an expert, that you are trustworthy, and that you should be hired to solve their problem because you are the one and only on this planet to do so. Before we get into the credibility indicators necessary for people to know, like, and trust us, we're going to cover that in a little bit, so stick around. And while you're sticking around, hit that like button and comment below. Ask questions, because I am more than happy to answer any of your questions in the comments or maybe even make a video about it. So with Kesandu, he's in Nigeria, and unfortunately, a lot of scams came out of Nigeria since the beginning of the internet, and a lot of people have a perception of Nigeria as, well, a scam. So if you're reaching out to prospects from a nation that has a bad reputation of not being trustworthy, then you yourself have to be exemplary. You've got to overcome these barriers, and they are overcomable. You can make sure that you have the right things around you to show that you are not one of the old scams that was run on spammy email. You can show that you are a legit expert, that you are a legit businessman, and that you can be trusted. So one of the things we're going to go into right now, before we get into the augmented reality, is to address one incredibly important issue with certain developing nations around the world, and that's getting paid. So if you are trying to do business around the world, it's incredibly difficult for you to get paid in certain countries. So this is something that I don't typically recommend to people in the Western world, but I do recommend to developing nations is to use marketplaces like Upwork. It could be any of the others, but use a marketplace so that you can guarantee payment for yourself, because I want you to make plenty of money. But then the other side of this is to make sure that your prospects feel comfortable doing business with you. I don't want you to do like some of the people on Upwork and other marketplaces where they lie about their location. I see a lot of people say, I'm in Canada, I'm in the UK or something like that. And they're not. They're in India, they're in the Philippines, they're in some other country, but not in the one that they say they are. I don't trust those people because I like to know who I'm working with. I'll actually research people before I hire them, even on Upwork, to make sure that they're not lying. If they're lying about something like their location, they're going to lie about other things. And they're going to, well, take my money. So I don't want to work with people who will lie about their location.
If I tell the truth as carefully as I can, then whatever happens is the best that could have possibly happened in that situation, no matter how it looks.
So let's answer Kesandu's niche question. So one, what niche to pick? Well, this question is usually asked by people who don't have any experience in an industry, or they don't like the industry they do have experience in and want to just go start something brand new, and they make life harder on themselves. The best place to pick a niche is where you have domain knowledge. If you don't have domain knowledge, all you have is the experience of learning your skill, your expertise, like web design. That's what you've got, but you don't have it for any particular industry and you don't know an industry. Well, the best thing you can do is go get a job and work with industries, or just take any kind of business that you can get and figure it out. You might get some work that you didn't expect, that you didn't know that you would truly enjoy. So go out and get lots of experience. Don't focus on a niche because you don't know anything about it. You aren't bringing any real expertise. You're not actually able to say anything that makes you more valuable. And the whole reason of niching is so that you can describe yourself as an expert in that space, but you don't know anything about that space. Or you can just suck it up, pick any niche, and work really hard at understanding it, understanding their problems and how you can solve those problems. That's it. That's all it comes down to, picking a niche. There is no wrong niche. There is no wrong niche on the planet. None. If they make money, if the people in that niche make money from what they do, then you will be able to sell your professional services to them. That's it. So with Kesandu, wants to get into construction, wants to get into construction supplies, building supplies. Well, then just go learn everything you can. The internet gives you access to all kinds of information. Learn all you can about the space. Interview people who are in the space. Just find out what they do, how they go about selling their products. What do they not know about web design? What do they not know about the things that you know? And then you can answer those things. And then that gets us into the credibility indicators that we're going to put on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can build out all the credibility indicators you need to grow your business. So let's jump over to mine so I can have some sort of framework for us to talk. So on a LinkedIn profile, we want to fill in all the sections. We don't want to leave anything blank. We want to use stuff so we can build our credibility. I'm building a personal brand. That's why you see just a picture of me in the cover art and just my profile. I'm just showing me. I'm not putting any words there, kind of being a little artistic with it. But for people who are trying to be seen as an expert in a space, we don't want to waste our cover art. We want to make use of it. We want to, one, show our face because we want people to see us as a real human being, but then we want to have words that convey something important, a headline and a subheadline that says what it is that we do that solves their problem. Then we're going to go into our title. This one's really important, and I think it requires a lot more testing. So I've done things like, this is what I do, like my name and what I do, as in the problem that I solve for agencies. I've had that, but I've also switched over to just showing what my titles are in the work that I do. So, CMO, a marketing advertising agency investor, this is something that I do. Speaker and trainer. I speak around the world, or I did pre-COVID, and I train leaders in the agency space, but I also train people in the construction space. The reason I went with this title is that it prevents me from looking like a spammer when I connect with people. When people see this, they don't see the pitch in my title. Is that good or bad? I don't know. There aren't great analytics on LinkedIn, so you just kind of test by feel, like intuition. So it's not a great way of doing it, and I'm going to change up my title again soon because this one's not serving my purposes, but we want to make sure that we have something that is going to stand out from all the others. So for me, I see a lot of people who put in I get leads for X, or I bring in 10X the business. I see a lot of those. So I see so many of them that I just ignore them. But then I get a few that they've crafted a real message there, or they're just doing something like me and showing that their title, their experience is the thing that makes them stand out because they just look different from all their competition on LinkedIn. If you have access to the providing services section, use it. Make use of that because you can actually get leads from that. I'm not going to go into it right here because some people around the world still don't have access to it, but if you have it, use it. The About section is incredibly important. Most people do this one wrong. They just say, oh, this is who I am, what I do, kind of like a little history lesson, a little bio. But what it is it's a sales letter. You want to sell your services in your About page. You want to have a headline. You want to have a subhead. You want to have a strong call to action. You need to use the copywriting technique of problem, solution, and bridge. The problem is the thing that your prospects care the most about. You solve that problem. The solution is whatever it takes to actually solve the problem. You're not the solution. The solution is the actual act of doing it, whatever that is. So for Kesandu, it's a website. A website solves the problem for his prospects, whatever that problem is. And then the bridge is Kesandu. The bridge is you. The bridge is your particular service. And then you need a call to action. So make sure you use up as many of the available characters as you can inside the About page to write a killer sales letter. Now, here's one of the most powerful sections of all of LinkedIn, and people do a terrible job with it. I'm even doing a weak job with it. But with this section, you can showcase everything you need to share with a prospect. You can have content that really does go into about you. I recommend video for the featured section where you go through and describe who you are, the kind of work that you do, showcase some case studies. You can also use PDFs. Have PDFs in this section that go into deep case studies. Let people read the things that you solve. For web designers like Kesandu, well then this is a great place to show your work. You can make a portfolio PDF that is you just call portfolio or your work or case studies, and then you can showcase all the different sites that you've built, and you get to prove you actually have those capabilities. In the featured section, you can put a lot of content there. I don't know the limit. I think I have 7 things on my featured section, but the thing that you want to make sure is the most important things show up first. On most screens, only 3 things show. So those need to be the 3 things that are going to be attractive to your prospects. So with web design, one of the things you're going to want to know is your work, the thing that you're capable of solving. So go back to problem, solution, bridge. One of my very first things would be, here's the problem and how to solve it. Like a lead magnet. You can have a lead magnet here. There's no opt-in. They just get right into it. They get access to it, and that's great because they get indoctrinated into your worldview. They get to know, like, and trust you. Everything you share in this featured section can have a call to action that says DM me, like message me right here on LinkedIn, which is smart instead of taking them to another platform. Or you can send them to an email opt-in. Go to this email opt-in, fill in your information, your name and your email, maybe your phone number and your business. And if you really want to get deep into a contact form, you can have them go to that right from this content. It's incredibly powerful. The activity section just shows what you've been up to on LinkedIn. And this is actually important because one, it shows that you engage with other human beings. So I know I click on people's activity, one, to see their posts, but also to see what kind of comments that they put on other people's stuff. If they put spammy comments on other people's posts, I'm not gonna work with them. Just straight up not gonna work. If they go, hey, I do that service, come over to me, that person is not getting connected with. Just not gonna happen. So your credibility shows up in the way you interact with people on LinkedIn. Don't put negativity onto LinkedIn because it's going to affect your own ability to close leads. One of the sections that people spend the most time on is experience, and it's one of the least important on your profile. I know, crazy, right? Because they treat it like a resume, or a CV. They treat it like, oh, I did this and from this date to that date, and I did this other thing from this date to that date. They don't use it for what it really is. Little ads, little classified ads on your profile. So every job that you have, you craft it in such a way that it showcases skills that are relevant to your prospect. Go back through your experience on LinkedIn and eliminate anything that does not highlight the fact that you are a bridge between your prospect's problem and solution. Inside of each of your experiences, you have the ability to put featured content. Again, you can treat it like a little mini website. Each piece of featured content can be like a web page. You put a PDF document there, you put a video there, you put a case study there. You put things in there that get people to see your worldview, see that you understand what the problem is, that you're an expert in the field, and that you're credible. Like, I'm trying not to overhype this, but it really is incredibly powerful, the tools that you can use right here on LinkedIn to prove that you are legit, that you are someone who is worth hiring. Now I'm just gonna run through the final stuff on here. Education. My education, I don't even know if I've made it public, but my BS degree is definitely BS. So it doesn't serve me. So I don't put it on there. Art and design does not serve me in the business world. It does not serve me as a business coach. So I don't go into it. I don't share it. But if your education is in web design, well, then you show that you've got an education in web design. If you've got a relevant education to the problem that you solve, highlight it. Make use of it. If you don't, minimize it. You may still have it there, but just minimize it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Another thing that a lot of people skip is recommendations, and prospects skip it. Also, people don't go out and try to get good recommendations onto their LinkedIn profile. And I haven't gone after any in, I think, like 12 years. I think the last recommendation on my profile is like 12 years ago. I don't use them, and most people don't even pay attention to them on LinkedIn. But for people in developing nations, you've got to make sure that you utilize every credibility indicator at your disposal. Because if you don't, then somebody's going to compare you to someone in, say, Europe or in America, and they're going to say, nah, I'll go with these others because, well, they're in my culture. And that is a bias that you have to overcome. It exists. It is overcomable, but you've got to do the work. Your prospect does not have to do that work. We've got our profile. We've maximized all the credibility indicators that we can put on our profile. Now we start doing hit list marketing on LinkedIn. We make a list of the most viable businesses that we could reach out to, that we think we can solve a problem for. We don't start spamming them. We don't say, hey, you need a website. I can make websites. Hire me. That doesn't work. No one likes that. So what you do is you connect with people, you comment on their content. If they're posting anything on LinkedIn, you comment on it. You give some valuable information. You maybe even make a little suggestion. Oh, this would be far more powerful if you just did this one little tweak to your site. You would get better conversions. Just little bits of help. Then you DM those people. You DM the people that you're commenting on. So that they say, oh yeah, I saw you comment, now I know who you are. They will look at your profile. They will take a look at you and they'll see all those credibility indicators. They'll see that you know what you're talking about, and then they'll connect. And that's just the start of LinkedIn marketing and building your credibility. Hopefully, Kesandu, you found this valuable, and everyone else, if you've got additional questions about how to build your augmented reality, how to have the credibility to do business anywhere in the world, then hit me in the comments. Ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer them, even make a video about them. And while you're here, hit that like button, subscribe, share on LinkedIn. Share this on LinkedIn, and do all the other socials, and I'll see you in the next video. I had no idea what to say. I'm just fried. I've got 20 seconds to fill. Watch this video. I don't even know which one I linked up. Just, watch this video. I just got 20 seconds to kill here at the end of the video. And well, we are, done.